What is going on, everyone? What is going on, everyone? So many people have DM'd me to watch this video. Did you watch the video yet, Andy? So I was like, is it good? And they're like, hell yeah. So I will be watching this raw. I've been deep cleaning my house and doing all these errands. So I haven't got the chance to actually sit down and watch it. So this is going to be my kind of first time looking at this video with you guys together. It's 21 minutes long. All right, let's start this so it's not too late. Let's go.
Greetings, heroes of Arcasia. Today, Matt, Associate Franchise Lead,
today.
Henry, Head of Editorial, and myself, Senior Product Community Manager,
Okay,
are
Miss
excited
Senior
to be here with a
Product
special
Manager.
Lost Ark team update to share with you all. We're going to be covering some key areas of community interest, some long-standing, and sharing a look at some brand new.
Wait, is this an eye
content
on
pieces
Arcasia?
and
It's a team
systems.
update, okay.
One piece of bad news, though, I'm pretty bummed to announce that Henry is no longer going to be the head of editorial.
Oh,
at Amazon.
Henry got fired. Uh-oh, big boy.
I bring him to my team as a producer to work
Big
solely
boy.
on Lost Ark.
I'm absolutely ecstatic to join Matt
Oh,
and
wait,
move
what?
into a new role on the Lost Ark production team. Lost Ark's meant a ton to me, both professionally and personally, and I can't
I
wait
didn't
to
hear what he
dedicate
said.
100% of my time to it. We have a lot
What
of
is he being?
awesome stuff on the horizon, which we're gonna be going through today, and I feel really, really good about the future.
Okay, is he not doing
Yeah,
the
Henry's moving off
the
my
patch
team,
notes with
but I
Henry
am
now?
thrilled for him
Oh.
as well. But how better to
Dude,
show
this guy
you
on the
just
right
how
is
excited we are than
flexing
kinda getting right into it.
hard, by the
So
way.
believe it or not, despite the three of us being here together, this is not the
Okay,
next
guys. I'm
With
not
all the
mean, I
changes coming
promise.
to the game
I'm
in the
not mean.
West, some coming sooner than others, we thought the best way to kind of share them all with you would be to just talk through what's coming and our thoughts behind some of the new changes and releases that we've been working on. We have a lot to cover, and we're excited to share a look at what's
All
coming
right,
to the
share
future
'em.
of the game.
Share 'em with
Please
us, Rox.
note,
Come
though,
on.
that today we're going to be sharing several works in progress.
Okay, works
While
in
not
progress.
everything is going to be
Basically means
immediately
they're
ready
not
for
going to do
release. We thought it would
crap.
be valuable to share insight to not just what's coming, but also some of what's going on behind the scenes with all of us. Some of the things we are going to discuss are still in development, and some are even very far out.
Okay.
Names and details of systems
All
may
right,
change
spill
as
it
they're
out, spill it
finalized, but
out.
we wanted to give you as early of a look as possible.
Come
With
on,
that,
we
though,
don't
I'll
got
let
all
Matt
day.
Kick things off by talking about how we've been taking in all of your feedback.
Yeah, so before we dive too deep into the content side of today's update, I wanted to just quickly talk about the survey that went out last month. As
Okay,
some
he's
of the
talking about some
trends found
survey.
within
I'm
that
gonna guess
survey
that,
are
we
definitely
talked
gonna be
about the
mentioned
survey,
throughout
we're
the
looking
course
into
of this
it,
discussion
and we
that had.
analyzed it,
We
and
saw a
we're gonna
26%
give you guys some
increase
good
in
results
survey
later on. All right,
that are gonna
next.
arrive in the Western version of the player base, and some
I
Next.
want to know just what those things are. Can either of you guys kind of elaborate on what's coming?
Yeah.
All right, let's
to
go.
Matt's point, we saw a few really strong areas of player feedback, and these systems are aimed directly at targeting some of those. So bear with me while I give an overview of these, because there's a little something in there for everyone. So I'm going to cover the basics of a
All
new
right,
system
let's
that we're gonna be bringing
go.
to
I
the
can
West
see why this
later
video is
year.
25 minutes long, by the
Paradise.
way.
This system is still actively being designed by Smilegate RPG for the global versions of Lost Ark. So we're going to go over the main architecture and the goals of this system. And then when
Okay.
we get closer to releasing it,
You're
we'll share
releasing
all
the
nitty-gritty
goals. We have
details
things worked
we
in
know that you'll be
progress. There's
interested in
things that we
learning
worked
about.
on already.
And once again,
Let's go,
really wanna
let's
emphasize this
go.
and provide a quick reminder that some of these names and details are going to
Okay,
shift as development
okay.
continues. So
Yes,
if we come
sir.
back out and it's named something else, might happen later this year.
Okay.
All right, let's dive
go.
into it.
Let's go,
Paradise
Henry.
is going to be an experimental new content for our version that will help increase player progression
Only our version.
by adding new paths for you to earn a variety of impactful rewards. It's going to have a very easy difficulty so that it's accessible to all players, and it's going to balance out some of the more hardcore systems that we're going to talk about after this one. Paradise is going to be a new seasonal content
It's
with
called
weekly
Paradise?
activities that can be completed on each character. It will have season-based content that
character?
provides both weekly rewards and seasonal rewards
Weekly
split
and
into 3
seasonal
distinct
rewards.
activities. The first activity is the namesake content
Player's
called
Company.
Paradise, a short monster wave defense style of content where you're trying
Monster
to farm
Paradise.
various Legacy of Paradise gear pieces, which can be put into new gear slots. Think things like belt or a cloak, or like other
Oh,
common pieces of
we're getting
gear
like
that
a belt
aren't
or
currently in
cloak?
your slots. And these gear
What
pieces
the-
are going to have grades like rare, relic, ancient, etc. and also are going to have special effects to help
Belts?
aid you in battle,
What?
which can be amplified as you
Raids?
drop better gear
What?
throughout the course of the season. These are going to increase your power within the Paradise activities for the entire season, helping you with the other activities we're about to talk through.
Only for
There's gonna
Paradise
be new
activities.
levels of Paradise that unlock throughout the course of the season with better drop rates for higher gear. So even if you missed the first few weeks, taking a little break from Lost Ark, you can quickly catch up to everyone else. At the end of the season, your
Okay.
gear will reset before the next season begins. So next up is God's Testimony.
Oh,
This is an
wow.
activity where you're going to attempt to 1v1 a boss in a short battle, with nearly all of the power coming from your Paradise Legacy gear. So no need to worry, support players, balance and stuff like
Wow,
that won't play as much
God's
into it.
Testimony.
It's really going to be focused on those
It's a
effects that you
1v1.
earn in Paradise.
Okay.
There's going to be increasingly powerful bosses you can face throughout the season, with a few at the start and more releasing throughout it as you farm better
I mean,
gear
okay,
with
guys,
stronger effects.
This is pretty exciting.
Each boss
I
is
will
going to
say.
have first-time
I don't know
clear
what's to
rewards of
come,
valuable
but the
items,
fact that they're
along with
cooking
the
up some
weekly
new stuff for
leaderboard
us
that gives
specifically,
you some rewards
I
as
like
well.
that.
As your special gear drops can help you kill the bosses as fast as possible,
This is
any
fun.
player really
Okay.
has the potential to
I can't
be
wait
atop
to
that weekly
play it.
leaderboard. And your weekly rank will earn you Hell Keys, which let you into the third activity tied to Paradise that we're about to talk through.
Third activity.
Before we
tied
dive
to
into
Paradise?
Hell, I will quickly note that we plan on giving out some seasonal rewards as well once the season wraps
I
up.
like that.
All right, let's talk
I've
about
been
Hell,
always asking for
the
seasonal
third
rewards.
and final of the activities tied to Paradise. You're going to be able to earn Hell Keys from a few
What-
sources,
what did he say? Tie-
including your
like
weekly
tie?
placement in God's
Tie?
Testimony. In Hell, there are
Tie
100
dye?
floors, and your goal is to descend as far as possible. Your key will have both a grade and a rank, and the better those are, the more floors you'll be able to descend in your Hell run. Clearing
Wow.
floors will be easy, kind of like Chaos Dungeon style.
Okay.
It's more about trying to hit some lucky effects and descend as far as possible
Okay, descend
before your key runs
to
out
hell
of descents.
as far
You can
as
kind of descend
possible.
like a random amount.
They're really
when
going
you
for
use
this
each
heaven,
descent
hell,
on your
God's
key.
testimony.
So you don't have to clear all 100
theme
floors.
over
It's
here.
not that grindy. You can jump, and there will be some other special effects that help you get there. When your key is out of uses, you'll receive rewards based on the grade of the key combined with how far down you got.
Okay, so
Think
it's
of a
basically
table
like a
where
dungeon.
the rewards get
it
better
sounds
as
like.
you go each way, either further down in floors,
Kinda
and
like a
also
Path of Exile
increasing
dungeon.
based on how good your key is. You will sometimes encounter altars from which you can hope to get better rewards or boosts to your current
Okay.
rewards, or that help you move between extra floors. The rewards in Hell can be really juicy, with some extremely critical rewards including
like
gold,
what?
progression materials, additional Paradise gear, and a ton more stuff that we're working on adding. in.
Okay, I can't wait to
And
hear
because
it.
there's already a lot of luck involved with this system, we wanted to kind of implement something to mitigate that. So at the end of it, you're going to be presented with 3 options, when you finish your key.
That's
that
4,
you can
Henry.
choose between. So you can pick what you need most to progress between those 3 options that you receive. We think this type of choice will help balance out some of the other RNG of this system and let you choose what you need the most at that time. There's a ton more nuance to Paradise, but as I mentioned at the beginning, there's also a lot of details that are still being developed and are in flux.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're really excited to
All right,
just
so
experiment a
so
bit
3
with the system,
activities
just
for
help give
Paradise.
players some
All
more
right.
activities,
Some
more
experimental progression
rewards, help with
system,
progression a little
a
bit.
new thing.
We don't want players to
It's gonna be
feel
exciting.
too
All right.
overwhelmed with the
Cool, cool,
system,
cool.
Especially with the number of daily and weekly activities
Exactly,
in the
but
game.
I don't even do
So
my
as
dailies
players
anyways.
ourselves,
so.
I can tell you that we're discussing ways to help offset some of that load.
This
We're just trying
guy's
to look for ways to
jawline
find
though.
to kind of just
Holy
further
moly.
alleviate the amount of daily, weekly activities that you
I
have
could
to
cut
do.
my rocks
Just
with
know
those.
that we're going to keep looking into just various ways to balance these activities so that you have plenty of opportunities to just play the character without feeling forced to do too many activities to keep up.
Yeah, so that being said, when we're talking about the new systems as well, how long would the expected playtime for a player be?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Good question,
I think when you
Rocks.
look at all activities
Totally not planned at
combined, it's going to be pretty short. It might depend on, the character that you're playing or how lucky you happen to get in your run. And I really wish I could give more specific numbers for the time spent in the week, but things are still being
Yeah,
Yeah, like we said,
okay,
understandable.
okay.
It's all still in development, but we
I
are
mean,
looking to
I
keep
will
it
say,
pretty
even if
short.
it
shouldn't feel
takes
like
a
too
while,
much. So
Like
with
it takes like
being so
several hours a
short,
week.
What are we doing for?
It's still
people that
pretty
wanna play
new.
More?
It's a new thing.
Yeah, so we heard feedback that while the Frontier system was great for newer players,
Frontier
casual
system.
players, and your alt characters, you wanted something where you could test yourselves a little bit more. So I
What?
want to talk a bit about the future of challenge-based content in Lost Ark, with kind of there being an emphasis on the hardcore players that we saw giving us survey responses and talking
Okay.
about that type of content.
A bunch of people
So
are
first
whining
up,
that things are
we
too
have
easy.
the Act 3 raid arriving in just a week or two. This raid was perceived as very difficult in Korea, so hopefully hardcore raiders will have fun testing themselves in the earlier stages of the Frontier system. From there, the raid will get easier and more accessible as the Frontier system rolls around. So let's talk about what's next. Apart from the upcoming Strike raid, Kazaros himself is looming on the horizon as the next major raid
Okay,
release.
so they're basically
And that has
saying, you know
already
what,
been
you
confirmed to have a
just
special
deal with the
difficulty,
current raid and
similar
then
to
you'll get
Thaymine the
Kazaros.
First, for
right?
those wanting a challenge.
That's the answer.
But we definitely hear the raiding community's feedback on wanting more of that style
Suck it
of
up, suck
content.
it up for a
So
little
we
bit,
have
and
a
then you get
longer-term
Kazaros.
project that we're looking into after the Kazaros raid.
And you'll have a lot
It's
of
going to
leakage.
be called Challenge Mode. Quick qualifier, once again, that I'm diving into some features far in the future and a lot could change. But the goal of Challenge Mode is that it's going to be a harder difficulty of raids
Challenge
built with the raiding community in mind. And we're looking into features like
kind of
potentially a seasonal in-game leaderboard, maybe some seasonal, prestige-based rewards to show off your abilities. But the only goal of this system is for players to put their skill to the test and see if they have what it takes to be the best. Think similar to a first difficulty where you can
I
play your heart
see
out,
like they're
or just
still
practice
thinking about
max and
it
hit
and
the
like how
boss.
they're going to implement
Once again,
this.
longer
It's a very
term
interesting
project, but
concept.
something that we're
But
very
yeah,
interested
the seasonal
in adding
rewards, this
after
has been
Kazaros
missing
for whatever that
for so
next
long.
chapter of Lost Ark raiding
It's something
is gonna
fun.
Be.
So I just want to quickly recap, since we threw a lot of information at you. Paradise, it's experimental
not really.
content. It's going to help you
is
speed
not
up
that
the
much
progression,
information, sir.
and you're going to have some really exciting kind of jackpot moments.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side of the coin, players that want more of a challenge,
You should go to my
they're
work
going to be able
meetings.
to experience the very best of Lost
That's
Ark's
the
raiding.
definition of
we
a
have
lot of
hard
information
raid
at once.
on deck, just coming up. And then we're also investigating, as Henry just mentioned, challenge modes. So after the final Kazaros raid, it will have its own special mode. Now, as we roll out some of these systems, we do, again, want to emphasize very clearly how crucial your feedback is when it comes to shaping
Yes,
a lot
of
of these
course.
things in the future.
Did
While these
you
features have been
guys
designed
fill out the
specifically
survey?
for the global audience, we want to
Huh?
make sure that they operate and eventually evolve in ways that truly do enhance the Lost Ark experience. We're excited to hear your early thoughts about these systems, and more importantly, we also really want to know how you feel once you've gotten your hands on them.
Definitely.
Of
So
course.
be on the lookout for feedback that's going to help us continue to iterate and shape the future of these systems as we roll these systems out later this year.
So with all of those new reveals and everything we're working on, it's really shaping up to be an exciting time for the game. We're looking forward to doing kind of a lot of new things in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk
absolutely,
about
and
more
we
stuff.
haven't even gotten into
This is
our
this is
next
nowhere near
roadmap
enough.
for the rest of summer
Yeah,
and
reminder,
fall.
this is not actually a roadmap video. Very weird, I know. When we do share that next roadmap with you in early July, though, we're looking
Early
at
July
turning
is
that
the
into
roadmap.
kind of a
Okay.
special
I gotta write
moment
that
where
down.
we can dive into some of the
I know.
details for Paradise and all of the other exciting content on the horizon that we haven't even talked about
Roadmap
today.
release.
That includes some of the things we know you're expecting, like the female paladin, the strike raid, and just so much more that's
Yep.
you've kind of seen from Korea.
I have so many materials saved up for female Pally. I can't wait for like female
Oh,
Pally
do you now,
Paradise
Henry?
Summer. I think it's gonna be a good
That's
summer.
a cute name. Did you come up with that yourself?
I did, yeah.
I don't know, Henry. I think we should put some money on who has the most material saved
Yeah.
up for Pele.
Little hone off.
Yeah, a little hone off.
I'm the only one at this table who's a support main, actually, so we'll see about that. We're very
I
excited
don't know
to be
what's funny,
providing
but
more
okay.
insight about the future of the game together, obviously. But before I get too far into the future, there's a more recent wave of feedback that we've been taking time to address as well.
Yeah, Makoko Boot Camp. So we've definitely
Okay.
heard your feedback when it comes to Makoko Boot Camp, and we're trying to have
Caitlin?
some adjustments when we bring it back this
Shout outs
next
to
time.
Caitlin.
The biggest change you're going to see is that we're going to be tying the Makoko status to actually clearing the raid or dungeon 10
Ooh,
times.
beautiful.
So while
yes.
we had a number of ideas, we
This
do
was
feel
one
like
of my
this is
ideas.
the best option for players at the moment to help kind of get up to speed with the raid and then help those players earn various
Yes.
raid-specific titles.
This is great.
Sought after when
I like
accepting
it.
applicants in the Party Finder. It is important to note that there will be an item level limitation to what constitutes
Mm-hmm.
Makoko, so please continue to be vocal and let us know your thoughts as we make
Okay.
changes.
Yes,
As a friendly
sir.
reminder, this won't apply to every
Mr.
raid,
Jawline,
but
sir.
as we progress, we'll be monitoring and adjusting which it will apply to. And then we're gonna also continue to run Makoko Bootcamp for several months, similar to what we've been doing, taking it down for a short period of time, refreshing the event and the rewards inside of
Yes,
it,
yes,
and then bringing
please.
it back. So we
Please
do hope
refresh the
this will
rewards.
make it feel a bit more evergreen, while allowing us to
evergreen.
have some short breaks to adjust things that,
like that
keep
word.
the system feeling pretty fluid.
Yeah, Makoko Bootcamp has been a big topic, especially recently. And I know there are a few other things we've been talking about. So what else are we withholding that we can share with our players today?
You know, we saw a lot of feedback in the community of just like someone logging in and claiming a reward and then logging in a few weeks later and they weren't a Makoko. So tying it to the raid clears, I think, will really help those players
of
out.
course.
Yeah, definitely. And I know
agree.
that's something I've seen a lot of, especially recently. So
All right,
what else
next.
are we kind of withholding that we want to share with our
Next.
players today? I know there's a lot we're going through.
Yeah, Henry and I can rapid fire off some of the other topics that
Yes,
the team
please
has
do.
been,
Rapid fire this time.
collaborating
Rapid
on,
fire
especially
cannon
with
it.
Smilegate RPG. One of them, Mileage Shop.
Okay.
So coming in the West, in the next few
Mileage.
months, we're going to be
The
introducing
whales.
the Mileage Shop.
They're gonna
and
love
you're gonna
that.
Be receiving points for the past purchase that you've made. We'll follow up with a specific
Whale
policy to kind of flesh that out,
auga.
but we want to ensure that you're being rewarded based on your purchase history. So we're really excited to introduce
right.
this in the West after all this time.
I see
Yeah,
they're
it's been a
suffering
long
from
time
sales. They got to
coming, I think.
incentivize people to
I'm gonna
start
have a lot of points.
buying.
And
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to get some of those skins. There's some really cool items in there. So
All
it'll be
right.
cool.
I can't wait to see
So
what
we
there's-
discussed some of the
what there is
items
there.
in the recent Smilegate RPG live stream, and we're going to be working to integrate relevant changes into the Western version as soon as we can, such as fixes for the Tier 3 Honing Dead Zone,
Yes.
some of the raid adjustments that they talked through, and other general progression improvements. There are some more complex adjustments that we want to find the right time to bring and integrate into the West, like character-bound gold. Our
Ooh,
economy
yeah,
is different
character-bound
from
gold.
Korea, and with our faster content release cadence, we want to make sure that we're supporting you and returning players with the materials and items needed to progress at a good rate. With Paradise, we will have some unique progression opportunities, and are excited about the ability to layer in character-bound gold into rewards there or other places to help characters progress without having too big of an impact on the economy. We're still working on these plans, and we'll let you know more as we continue to develop the release of these adjustments in the West.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're also aware of the mixed response to the current gem situation that's going on and being discussed in
Oh,
Korea.
beautiful. Yes, let's hear
We
this.
are watching it very closely and just watching its implementation. So
What you
while the
got for
system
us?
is being described for Korea, we are still discussing what this looks like for the West and when we're wanting to release it. So we do want to just be transparent as possible. We're still in the early stages on this specific topic, but we will continue to monitor the system
Okay.
and investigate various opportunities.
Next.
And we'll provide another update in our
Sure.
roadmap video.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We also discussed the support play experience in
Okay.
Korea.
Support play.
Looking at the number of
hear
classes,
it.
the support shortage isn't too bad in the West, but we definitely want the experience of playing support also to be fun. So we're super excited for some of the changes that Smilegate are looking into, starting with the ARC passive adjustments for support.
Okay. Arc passive
We also
adjustments.
think that the
That's good.
support and DPS flexibility of female paladin is going to further help balance,
Yes.
just the amount of
I
supports
love female
later this
paladin.
summer. Finally, there's been a lot of talk about the strike raid, which will arrive in the future. So we wanted to share that we are looking into tuning the rewards to better fit the needs
Oh, wait, what
of
is this?
Western players. This is to ensure that you're receiving a baseline value for the time that you're putting into that activity.
Okay.
And we'll
hard
describe,
mode.
what the strike rate is and get more in depth when it arrives, maybe in the next roadmap, spoiler alert. But for players that are aware of changes in Korea, just wanted to make sure that we were being transparent and talking through that with you.
Yeah, but I guess they have to tune in to the next roadmap.
Ah, you want the view,
All in all,
don't
though,
you?
We really hope this team
Ah,
update video
okay.
helped provide a valuable
I'll
look
give you
ahead
it,
at
I'll
what's
give you
coming
it.
to Lost Ark here in the West. Needless to say, the team has been working extremely hard behind the scenes to take in all of your feedback and address it appropriately. We do look at all feedback, and while making changes
you?
to the game can take a lot of time, we really, really do appreciate your patience and support as we work to make Arcasia the best it can be.
Okay.
I know we're looking
that
forward
it?
to seeing you again for a special roadmap in early July,
Oh,
but
it
before
is.
that, we'll have a couple of exciting months with the Abyssal Assault game updates in May and June. That's when you'll travel to Rymeria to help the Yaz people before facing off against Kazaros' next threat, Mordom, the Abyssal Punisher, in the next Kazaros raid. Thanks for joining us today.
All right,
and
thank
as
you,
always,
thank
we'll
you.
see you back in Arcasia.
All right, I'll see you guys. Thank you for the update. All right, so quick summary. So this video isn't too long. I mean, okay, like I don't want to be pessimistic, but it's still it still seems like they're like, oh yeah, we're still talking about things. And I know things move slow, guys. I work for a company, you know, things move slow, so I completely understand. What is good, I think this, like I said, something new, something fresh that the game needs, and something that will help the new players and returning players, so that they don't have to necessarily keep playing the game. They can always come back at a later date. It's kind of like MapleStory, right? You can quit for months at a time, but then you can always come back to another event, and it's basically you pick up from where you left off. I hope it's something similar to that. Mokoko Bootcamp, this is awesome. Frontier, like this seasonal leaderboard and rewards, I'm gonna be very excited to see this. I will say, you know, the sweaty tryhards, you know who they are. They're gonna be overflowing, trying to fill out this leaderboard. So let's just see how this goes. It might be abused and whatnot. I don't know about that. Can't wait for July for the roadmap release. Mileage shop is pretty good for the swipers out there. They're fixing this, or they claim that they're thinking about this. They always say this, and they still haven't. So I'm at like a neutral stance at this at the current moment. Character bound gold, ew. Gems, ew. Support play, I love that. I love that they're thinking about it and working it so that the supports actually feel like they're making an impact. That's great. And the hard mode rewards like Korea. So overall, I say it's pretty good. Not to the extent that I was hoping for, based on how many people DM me like, oh, did you watch it? Did you watch it? But I will say, you know, let's wait, let's chill, because they do seem to be cooking something. But yeah. Anyway, those were my thoughts. Hello everybody from YouTube. I know I haven't been posting a lot. I hope to be posting a lot more. If you haven't watched the previous video, I am doing kind of like a journey for my character to prep for Mortem. So as you can see here, like I have a lot of stuff that I'm planning on doing, like the accessories. So you'll be seeing an accessory video real soon. But until then, I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.